Today I returned to the scene of a crime that occurred exactly 38 years ago today, right here at this point, second base at Rowe Park in Overland Park, Kansas. If you look in the distance, you'll see the left field foul pole, a very important part of this story. I wrote an essay about this called Wedding Bell Bruise, and I will read it for you today, should you care to stay till the end of this video. Again, this essay is called Wedding Bell Bruise. It was the summer of '87 and love was in the air, but so were softballs. My fiance and I were counting down the days until our blessed nuptials. At T-8 days, my future mother-in-law arrived to do important pre-wedding things like watch us play coeducational softball at Rowe Park in Overland Park, Kansas. It's important for you to understand how we came to this moment. Not the love story moment, that would be rather boring, but how we got to this co-ed softball moment. You know, baseball was my first love, especially if you don't count Ginger from Gilligan's Island. I started playing when I was about 5 and played until an auto accident sidelined my senior year. The thing about playing a game that long is that you don't think about it anymore and you don't play it consciously. You play it subconsciously or by instinct. And that's how you operate. And it's important for this story that you remember that. But virtually all baseball dreams eventually die, and some are exchanged for virtuous pursuits like philanthropy or career or something like that. Many baseball dreams are exchanged for something more sinister, however, which is softball. It gets worse. Guys start to date, get married, etc. Then spouses and soon-to-be spouses get tired of watching softball games and telling their men what studs they are, and then someone proposes a solution to a problem you didn't even know existed, and then all of a sudden you're playing co-ed softball at Rowe Park 8 days before your wedding. And then to salvage some dignity, you name the team Real Men Play Co-ed. So we're back to Rowe Park, literally for this story. I'm here reading it with the field in the background. But in the story, we're here at Rowe Park, and I'm patrolling left field back there, quite like a Doberman pinscher. And my fiance at the same time is playing second base, come to think of it, much like a Doberman pinscher. So the other team's best hitter is at bat, and I move back to the very boundaries of the field, which is a federally designated waterway called Indian Creek. It's hot and humid, and the blistering July sun begins its slow descent behind me. The batter takes ball one before hitting the next pitch very hard with his aluminum bat at me in left field. As the ball rockets off his bat, my baseball brain takes command and I cease to think consciously. I observe first that the batted ball is not going to test the boundaries of Indian Creek, but instead is a low line drive that's going to sink in front of me and bounce if I don't hurry up and catch it. So I sprint forward, and I realize the runner at second is already running to third, saying basically that I don't believe he's going to catch the ball. And so I run as fast as I can forward, and I do catch the ball right above my shoestrings. And as soon as I do that, I instinctively fire to second base as hard as I can and as quickly as I can, because I want to double the runner off. It's at this point I regain consciousness, and I realize I fired a Patriot missile at my graceful doe of a second baseman who for one more second will love me more than she loves any left fielder anywhere. I scream, "No!" as my thrown ball disappears behind the setting Kansas sun. Standing on second, my fiance raises her glove to shield the sun from her seraphic face. I pray she'll just get out of the way and let the first baseman catch the throw on one hop. Instead, she stands the post with her glove now moving side to side. The softball doesn't find the glove, but instead grazes its top and then the ball hits her squarely in the forehead, knocking her flat on the back. She took a direct hit. So I sprint towards second base, and I continue to my fallen betrothed as dugouts empty and players and umpires circle her. The last to join is the woman I had assumed would be my mother-in-law, but now this relationship status is clearly in jeopardy. Within a few seconds, it's clear my fiance is conscious and not a victim of manslaughter by softball. And this paves the way for various expert opinions. "I told you not to play softball a week before your wedding," said mother-in-law dearest. She looks at her daughter, but she's talking to me. "G-Fin," says my friend Steve Freeman, "if you didn't want to marry her, you should have just said so." As my fiance struggles to get to her feet, the umpire decides not to call an ambulance. The women on the team begin wondering aloud if the inevitable goose egg will still be there at wedding time. Everyone circles around and examines the punished forehead for any softball stitching imprints. None are observed, so someone grabs ice from the beer cooler to preserve the cosmetic integrity of the bride-to-be. It was touch and go for the next 8 days, but astonishingly, no bruises or goose eggs ever appeared before the wedding. It was a miracle from heaven above, and the wedding went off without incident as the radiant beauty of the bride, especially her forehead, burned more brightly than a Roe Park setting sun. The end.